Well, we have Brian, the proprietor of this business. He's got his new rig here. We're up in the Dells in Wisconsin. And he provides this great service where he'll clean your decks, your roof, your siding, your awnings. And so today on Sunday, Brian's setting up to do it. And this is his company. It's called Southpaw. I wonder if that means he's left-handed. It probably does. But you can see all the services he provides. And he's also in the Oak Creek, Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. So for any of you who are watching this thinking it's only in the Dells, that's not true. Brian Sullivan, owner-operator. There's his telephone number, 414-944-0740. It's called www.southpawclean.com. And then there's the email address, brian@southpawclean.com. So if you're interested, I've known the kid since he was not in diapers, but pretty much. Solid human being, does great work. Very personable. Love him to death. So this will be a little video of Brian. Now this is his new rig. God, he knows so much about this process. It's just amazing. To me, it's just a power washer, but actually his is not just a power washer. It's some serious solutions, as we like to call them. And he's got this set up. So you'll see me chop this video up a little bit, because he's going to be cleaning off this area. It just stopped raining a little while ago up here in the Dells. So he plans on doing this deck as well. When you're in the trees around here, things obviously get a little, slimy, moldy, fungy. And people like to have them clean. So Brian's going to be doing this area as his initial test. So I'll be back in a minute. All right. So what is often not appreciated is this is a low pressure. Is it 50 or 60 PSI, Brian?
This comes out about 50 PSI.
50 PSI.
So not enough to damage anything. You're just letting the solution do the work.
And have had past experiences. It uses a very high volume of water as opposed to high pressure, low volume of water. And having in the past, years ago, I actually cleaned a fence. My old property in Kenosha, Pleasant Prairie, and I peeled the wood off of that fence. But I had no idea what I was doing. That's clearly not the case with Brian here. He knows what he's doing. And so, Brian, what's the mixture you're spraying?
This is about a 2.5% sodium hypochlorite, and then probably, I got the soap valve cracked about halfway. So
okay, so the solutions.
About 3% bleach on this.
Okay.
And we're gonna follow it up with a acid wash, which will be gonna try some sections in citric acid and then some sections in oxalic. So that acts as a wood brightener and then brings back the natural color in the wood.
Very interesting. Far more complex than I ever imagined. So Brian clearly put a lot of time and energy in this process. I'm just amazed at the low pressure washer. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're not here, you don't get to see it. But it is very gentle. You saw he just stuck his finger, you may have not seen that, into the stream. Now, if you'd done that with a 3000 PSI washer, he would have lost the skin. That would have peeled it right off. So this is just like an amazing hose with a little pressure attached to it. And as previously explained, he's using the water supply here and pluses it up with the water that he carries, because this moves so much volume of water that can't handle it alone. So he's augmenting the water pressure from the house with additional water from there so that the pump doesn't go dry and burn out. And it does have a little odor to it.
Yes, sir. Smells like a pool.
It smells like I'm at the pool.
The
But I love.
got in here is lemon scented.
It's lemon scented.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's lemon scented. I love lemons. clearly not a do-it-yourselfer kind of setup. A lot of money in this equipment, a lot of technique. Got to know the solutions, how to judge which one to use. Yeah. Very nice. Oh. So if you ever decide to have this kind of service done, if let's say you've got a nice deck like this, it's up to you as the owner to move all the stuff off the deck. Obviously Brian can do it, but it's a whole lot less money to do it yourself, move all this stuff off, give him the space to work. He clearly needs to tap into your water supply because there's a lot of water involved. Oh, and he's taking his brush, working it in. I'll try to move up. I don't really want to walk on the soap because I'll probably do something like slip or make a mess. Oh yeah. So you're just working the solution into the wood?
Yes, sir. Getting all the big stuff off and gonna reapply and let the solution sit on top for 5 to 10 minutes and let it do its thing, and then come back with a medium pressure rinse.
And how's the medium pressure rinse differ from the one you just did?
It's more or less 800 to 1200 psi, and it's more or less just enough to get the surface clean.
Okay.
Getting all the solution off. Not damaging the wood by any means, but you start damaging wood when you're super close in the 2000 plus psi range. So.
All right. I'm gonna walk around the other side. So the client has to provide water and power.
Yes, sir.
All right. Easy to do.
And I bring everything else.
You bring the rest of it. The skills, the brushes, the solutions. So how quickly does someone start to notice? Is it...
Depending on how bad the algae buildup is, it can be instant.
I think I've noticed something already.
Yeah, this stuff cleaning up relatively easily. It'll
Yeah.
get better with time. Got to be patient and let it actually dwell and let the chemical do the work.
So you got to have some hang time on the wood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, interesting little story. Before Brian got a driver's license, a day that will stay in infamy, he used to detail my cars. It was so much fun to watch him. I think, was it an iPod or still an iPhone back then? I don't remember. iPod. He'd put his buds in, be listening to music, and he could do a detailed job on a car, like at a BMW 335i. Yeah, I still have memories of him sitting in the car, listening to music, Q-tips, cleaning. It's the cleanest that car's ever been. So my point is he takes that kind of dedication and to what he's doing now. This is not a fly-by-night, spur of the moment kind of thing. He thinks things through. He works on the solutions. Yeah, so he has a long tradition of doing very detailed, careful work. Oh yeah. I'm at the pool right now with Lemon. So this is the mid-pressure wash?
No, this is the reapplication. I'm going to let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back with the mid-pressure wash.
So you broke up the surface, all the crud, and now you're putting some more solution on as before.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let this sit for a little bit.
All right. I'll be back in a second.
Start rinsing a little bit.
Now Brian's going to be doing some rinsing. Sorry we got interrupted on that last video because I've been using the timer on my phone. Ooh. So you can tell that he's using gasoline-powered sprayer. So this is where we're going up to 1,000, 1,200 psi. Like I said, with these we were doing 50 psi because we were using an electric motor. If you can't tell, this is dramatically better. If you look at this wood and you look at this wood, yeah, this is nice. Really brightens up the house. And I don't know if I mentioned, he also does the siding if you want that clean. He'll do the roof. You got a special technique so you don't destroy the asphalt shingles if that's what you have. Imagine you can have Brian come in, spend some money, I don't know the exact prices, and an hour later have the place looking really nice. It'd be a great thing. Your building's coming out of the winter season, especially up here in Wisconsin and the Dells. You want to make the place look good so that you can enjoy your summer and fall up here. You're having friends over, you're barbecuing, you're having some adult beverages. You want the place to look nice so everybody has a real good time. And this is the way to do it. Have this young entrepreneur come up. Oh God, wow, that's dramatically better. Oh, look at all the schmutz coming off. Oh yeah, looks really nice. Now we're not done. So don't think this is it. Brian's got oxalic acid and citric acid coming on the next phase to help lighten the wood. This is the cleaning process, and it's dramatically cleaner, just remarkably cleaner. So this is his first foray. He's doing his father's place up here in the Dells. They're in a place called Pioneer, and this is District 5. I've learned that. Apparently has District 1 through 5. But you never go wrong with having a Sullivan do the work for you. You know it's always going to be right. He takes as much time and energy into it as he has to. He doesn't cut corners. He has what we call integrity. And all of us have it, but some of us have it to different degrees. But I've always known about Brian that he does the very best, and if he's not happy with the very best, he'll make it right. That's just his personality, and his parents are like that too. They're just fine people, and you can see that in Brian. He's a good kid. Well, he's not a kid anymore, he's an adult, a young adult. Yeah. So I'll be back. Sneaking in on the Brian. So this is the citric acid?
Citric acid, so it's roughly a cup to a gallon. So it's just your standard food grade citric acid. I did not realize that you can use this for meat preparation.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yep. So this is my first time using this thing in particular, so we're gonna give this a shot.
So this will help.
So this
bring out the.
This brightens the wood. So whereas when you just use straight bleach or straight deck cleaner and everything on wood, it kind of grays the tannins and the fibers of the wood. This brings back the natural colors. And I can show everybody. This is relatively natural, but you're gonna make it even nicer. In theory, it should brighten up quite a bit. So I'm gonna take the camera for a second and show you what just bleach by itself does. I won't walk over on their property, but you see how this is gray? That's just the bleach. So we could have that result, like over there, or we can have this result. Oh yeah. A little shaky there, get it all mixed up. I know I've said it 20 times before. This is so much better. It's so much nicer. So Brian, how long does it take this stuff to do its magic? It's got to go on a wet surface, ideally a wet and clean surface. If this is all the organic growth is dead. Yeah. I'm gonna try letting it dwell for 5 minutes. Okay. And got to rinse liberally, then I'm going to try another patch at 10 minutes and kind of see what.
Oh, see which one works best for this?
I'm going to do that same thing. This is the citric. I'm going to rinse this out really good because I only have one pump up spray right now. Should have bought another one. And I'm going to do the oxalic acid, which does the same process.
Can you mix the two at the same time?
No.
No. Okay. I didn't know
At least
that.
for my limited understanding, and I'm no chemist, and I don't want to screw with that stuff. So, see how this goes on.
All right. The citric acid is going on. Oh, yeah. Talk to daddy. Nice application. Good technique. Oh, yeah. I'm digging this. Now, I do understand what he's doing, but would I want to try to replicate this? No. Because somewhere I would screw up or put a solution with another solution or make a mistake, and in the long run it's just not worth it. These decks, especially now during the COVID period, this is a lot of expensive lumber, and screwing up the lumber, given the cost of repair, just hiring somebody, it's just not worth it. It's so much easier to have someone like Brian come in and rejuvenate it and make it look good than it is to cheap out and proceed to screw up your deck. And nobody likes to screw up. Oh my God, he's doing the... Oh God, that looks so much better. I wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, oh, good thing it's being videoed. So we'll come back in a few minutes. Bye. All right, we're back. Brian has applied the citric acid. He's now washing it off. He's gently using the 1000 psi line, which is that gray one. He and I both commented that the area that he treated with citric acid up here looks dramatically different than this. And he tells me they're the same wood. They were installed at the same time, sourced from the same location. So this is a journey for me, it's a journey for him, and hopefully for the people who are watching, it's a journey for you. Yeah, there's a lot of work involved with this. I thought it was going to be spray and be gone. It's not working out that way. I see why they make money doing this. I guess anything worth doing is worth doing well. Very thorough, very meticulous work. Like I said, he's washing off the citric acid. And it's impressive. Now, we were commenting about how he hit these stones with the bleach. And you can see they're dramatically different from the stones he has not treated. I mean, you can see all the mold and algae and etc. here, and then where he's treated it, it's nice and white and natural color. Impressive. So I'll be back. So Brian just commented that
you can kind of see over here we actually recycled all of this wood, so the old stain is on the bottom side. This used to be the bottom side. You can kind of see here the imperfections in terms of color.
Oh yeah.
In theory, with the citric acid, this should brighten all this up, and you shouldn't be able to tell that this used to be the bottom of a deck.
Oh, okay.
We obviously repurposed, and this is now the top side of the deck, but saved a little bit of money, and this was all essentially free, so it was just labor. But,
and I think I see some old rust from previous...
Yep, we'll have to, when I do the oxalic acid test, I'll have to kind of see how that removes. But.
So those rusts are from previous times,
yep, so
when it was
rust stains
recycled.
are from previous nails and nail bleeds. We all just use screws and normal deck screws for this particular deck.
Yeah.
That's back in the
deck
day.
Screw.
Nails were the way to
Old
go.
nail. This was not from this installation.
So this is all repurposed and free essentially.
Free is good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it looks good. I'd never know from looking at it that it was repurposed or... Yeah.
I'm gonna let that sit 5 or 10 minutes and kind of see how it goes.
All right. So here's an interesting observation. What Brian does now is he's spraying down the wood ahead of time, because there's a thing called tannins in the wood, which I just
Basically
learned.
wood fibers.
Wood fibers. And the water clings to those fibers so that when the bleach is applied, the wood fibers have already absorbed the water, so they will not absorb the bleach. Because the idea with the bleach is for it to kill the organics, as we like to call it in the trade. So he's firing up the generator, or these pressure washers. Got it, noisy. So he's been washing down all of this because he's going to be treating this soon. So he wants the wood to be wet, so that, like I said before, when the chlorine bleach is applied, the chlorine bleach doesn't go to the wood, which is already preoccupied with the water. It kills all the organics which are on the surface. And as we always say, you don't know what you don't know. And I tell you, people, this is looking pretty sweet. I'm impressed. Oh yeah. I didn't realize it was recycled wood. Yeah, that's consistent with Brian and his father. You can see, maybe you can't see from here, I can see it from where I'm standing. Notice how the citric acid did not remove the old rust stains from the previously used nails. Getting it all clean with the 800, 900, 1,000 PSI. Impressive. Nice work. All right. As previously mentioned, we're doing a gross cleaning. We've moved all the items from over there over here, which of course, if you hire someone like Brian or anyone who does this kind of work, this will save you money if you do it on your own. And then Brian is wetting down the whole surface to get the wood fibers to absorb the water and not the bleach. You can tell that we're under a lot of trees. We're just coming out of winter. And so this has had some trauma and drama through the seasons. And we'll get to see the transformation. I'm excited. It's always fun to see something be done that's done well and works. So we'll let you take a nice lingering look at what it looks like now. And then once the job is finished, we'll run through it. This area was covered with a lot of extra boards, so that's why it's actually in pretty good shape. Yeah. God, it's so much fun. And it's a nice day. It's like 75 degrees, a little overcast, slight breeze. It's very cool. And there were some chests over here, so this wood was protected. Same thing over here, less though. And Brian is doing the soft wash because he's got the yellow hose. Yeah. Did learn that when you start spraying chemicals on, you always go from bottom up, because the chemicals, if you start at the top, will drain down, especially bleach, and it will cause some streaking. So today has been a lot of learning for me. We're slinging the hot sauce. Yellow hose, low pressure, 50 PSI. You can literally see, as he's applying the chemical, the solution, it changing. There are parts there that were obviously pretty grody, and he's just applying it. Now his father in the background is watering the plants. And that's one thing you have to be aware of when you're applying these bleach solutions, is that they can, of course, be very hard on plants. So the same process sort of with the wood, with the water. You're putting a lot of water there so that it dilutes the chlorine so it doesn't kill the plants. It's also saturating the ground. I'm gonna have to back up here a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if you can appreciate it on camera, but I can literally see it working even as I speak. Very impressive. And some of this deck is just, I think the word disgusting. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's fun to walk on. It's fun to be here. Yeah. But it looks real good. some of the areas with a light layer of fungus and mold and other stuff. Yeah, I can see it transforming right here, right in front of my eyes. So the thinner layers of algae are disappearing quickly, and the thicker layers are going to take more time, more contact with the solution. But it is definitely totally transforming this deck. Yeah. I'm going to back up. He's a man on a mission. He's focused on the job ahead. And Brian, this is going to be the same thing, 10 or 15 minutes or 15?
I'm going to give it about a 10-minute dwell, because a lot of this is pretty nasty. I'm probably going to rinse and then apply another mix, let it sit.
Okay.
But,
sorry to interrupt you. I know you're working.
I'm only going to cut off about your...
Oh, you're going to cut
really
off?
Slippery too, so watch it.
Okay, there's a famous album cover that said, I think, slippery when wet, and apparently that applies to this job. So what you see here is Brian is putting a 1.5% solution on the siding because he's having dwell time for the bleach on the deck. So he's making good use of his time. He's not dilly-dallying. It's always good, efficient use of time. Doing a good job, getting it nice and clean. So Brian, there's soap in this, right?
Yes, there's soap, and I turned the bleach down quite a bit because we don't need as much algae on the house.
Yeah, I looked at the sidings. That looks fine, but hey, I don't live here. I don't know the extent. I'm sure it'll look marvelous when he's done. All right, Brian is using oxalic acid here on the surfaces. This is like citric, except it gets rid of the rust from any nails that were used in building the deck. You can see he's spraying. And I just want to emphasize, this is the area that's not yet been treated with the oxalic, but it just had the bleach. And then you can see what it looked like over there. It's a little hard to tell, but you can look right over there and see how green and nasty it was. And now it's all clean and wonderful. Wood looks good. Yeah. Putting the oxalic on the top of the rail. Oh yeah. Looking good in the neighborhood. So Brian,
yes, sir.
Does that also take care of organics at all?
This is not necessarily from the organics. All the organic growth was taken care of from the first wash with the bleach.
Okay.
So this is after the wood is clean, at least free of organics.
So now I think I see, are there some residual organics here?
Part of this is because it's pressure treat. It's actually green treat.
Oh, that's a green from the pressure treating.
Yeah,
oh,
so
okay.
It's not going to come like 100,000%.
Because that's a chemical for the pressure treating.
And that's infused into the wood.
Okay,
so
that explains it.
That's never coming out.
All right, it's part of the wood.
Yes, sir.
I was thinking somehow you had failed me, and I was near tears. So that green is not algae. That is part of the green treatment that you get with pressure treating wood. We see that all the time in pressure treated wood. It's the way it is. Why they don't pick a different color to pressure treat, I don't know. I'm not in the industry, would have no idea anyway. So Brian's putting the oxalic acid now, which will help brighten it. And like I said, get rid of any rust stains from any previous nails. Yeah, looking good. We'll take a walk down the steps here, which I've muddied, of course, because I've been walking around. There's a lot of water. This continues to look gorgeous. He's done the stone, which looks good. Yeah, it's all coming together. Yeah, like I said, ton of work. All right, Brian has done only half the deck. You can see this is what it looked like before. Literally see a line here, and then this is the deck. Still wet, of course. Just to let everybody know, if you see green, it's because it's green wood. It's been treated so that it doesn't rot. So the green is not organics or algae. That's simply the way the wood was initially sold. but it is a remarkable improvement. Oh my God. Just look at these steps. They were horrendous. The whole area was messy. It looks good. He did the railing up to, you can see where he's done the railing, hasn't done the railing. You can see the top where he's done it, has not done it. So a remarkable improvement. I mean, well worth the money and time and effort. Much brighter. I really wasn't paying attention to the siding, but Sean, the dad, says, oh, it's much, much better. I don't really know. It's not, you know, it has to be slap me in the face, obvious to figure it out for me. And then you look at the stone, much nicer. And that was just with treatment. And this is nicely done. So you can see the bleach having done its job on the organics on the stone. That's all it required. And we're walking along here. Bleach, 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 bleach. And then you can see where it wasn't done yet, as well as here. This wasn't done, but this has all been done. And the green, once again, if you see any residual green, it's the way the wood was treated when it was manufactured. So an amazing job. Looks great. This should be the end.